Welcome to another Black Business Month interview. I'm Benny Smith Jr. and today you're going to hear from somebody that's been around the world and back again. Yeah. This brother right here has made a name for himself, not only locally but abroad, and continue to do such. So without further ado, Rodney Walker, what's up, man?
My man.
Yeah. How you been?
We family, so it's good. It's good.
You know what? And I didn't realize, or we didn't realize that we were family until we started talking a few years back. And we're like, yeah, it's family here.
Lawrence Street, baby.
Man, yeah. So that's what's up, man. Southside. Let's start there. Talk about your love for the South. I think one of the first things I really known you from, or start seeing big, other than the basketball things, which we'll get into a little bit, but Southside Sundays that you did at Mueller Park, man. Where did that idea come from, and like how did that start? That's a big deal.
That comes from Smitty, man Smitty, man.
Yeah.
He raised us all down there at Mueller Park.
Yeah.
You know, if you was on the South Side, anywhere at Decatur, Mueller Park was the place to be.
Yeah.
For softball, baseball. My parents moved up here in like 70, 72 or something. I was the only one born up north, 73.
Okay.
And everybody else was pretty much born down south in Tennessee. So I'm the only one born up north. But ever since day one, we was on Webster Street out south. Mm-hmm. A lot of people don't remember that. But it was 73 to 78, we was on Webster Street before we moved over to Clay.
Okay.
All right, so it was all Mueller Park at that time, you know, playing baseball, seeing the families come out, having that family support.
Yeah.
It was all some real live unity in the community, from all the way from the park, all the way from Webster Street, all the way down to Wood Street.
Wow.
I mean, the block was just jam packed. It was the street. Webster Street was the street you wanted to live on. Trust me. I mean, I'm talking about beautiful houses all the way top to bottom. Mm-hmm. You know, it was just the atmosphere and that was. That's what we tried to bring back with Southside Sundays, to get people, families back out to the parks, just cooking and, you know, sitting out there relaxing and talking, having a good time. Not so much playing softball. That was the initial idea, to bring back the softball, get some teams. Yeah. Because, you know, us Southside used to love to go against the East Side, Torrance Park. We had a big rivalry at one time. So. Yeah. But, yeah, it was we all grew up playing baseball, and we transitioned into basketball. So not like this generation.
Straight basketball.
Strictly playing the rock. We was baseball first.
Okay.
We were baseball first, and that all started at Mueller.
All started at Mueller.
With old man Smitty.
With old man, and shout out to my grandfather,
yes,
though. Hey, so I'm thinking about, from your earliest humble beginnings on the South Side, how did you go from, you know, South Side guy growing up here to doing the things you're doing now?
You know, it was some characters on the South Side, so we had some good teachers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's not a lot of older guys on the block, but I'm a 73 baby. I'm a hip hop baby. Mm-hmm. And like I said, everything did start at Mueller Park, from the hip hop, from PJ Productions down there at the park, throwing concerts and you know, different things down at the park on the stage, letting us break dance down there. You know, I'm got my B-boy, my box, walking through the South Side, playing Boogie Down Bronx all that.
Like Radio Raheem.
Yeah, like Radio Raheem. And these are just, and then, you know, from us kids just getting together, riding bikes, and it was just always South Side. You know, not so much, I always had love for Decatur, but everybody know that I'm South Side for life. But, you know, we all Decatur at the end of the day. But it was just something about growing up on the. I always said, hey, you had to do everything on the South Side. If you wanted to party, you had to come to the South Side. You had the Elks, you had Club 21, you probably had El Morocco, whatever, up here on El Dorado. You had to come through the South if you wanted to get it. And, you know, and I always thought the South Side breeded brothers that was into more commerce.
Yeah.
There was always commerce on the South Side. Guys was out there trying to make things happen, get money. You know, everybody was getting money all over the city, but it was a different type of
on the South. It was just a little bit different.
A little different. But I just had mad love for my South Side brothers. But I got love for Decatur, period. Wherever I went, international play ball, college play ball, they knew where I was from.
That's good.
So I'm proud of my city. I'm proud of my people because we have some very talented people here in the city of Decatur, and I love what you're doing by creating off of different resources.
Thank you.
Because like I said, just riding by here, I would never know that these type of resources are available for these young brothers and sisters to tap into. Man, this is art on another level, you know.
Yeah. No, thank you. Appreciate that. So what really made you want to be an entrepreneur? Because basketball, you grew up, it seemed like you are when I think about Decatur basketball, I think about Rodney Walker. Only. And then I might think about the schools next. You know what I'm saying? But I think about Rodney Walker when it comes to basketball. How did you go from your love from basketball, now you got a cafe and all the other types of things that you're doing?
Well, it didn't always start off with basketball. Like I said, it started off with baseball, with your granddad pushing us, and that was my best sport at one time. Yeah. You know, but I was one of those kids where I wasn't locked into one sport. I could do quite a few things. You know, I was good at karate. You know, I was good at dancing. I tried.
Bruce Lee was big back then too.
Bruce Lee was huge.
Yeah.
You know, so I got into karate at a young age. You know, I was good at that. Like I said, good at baseball. Basketball came a little later. You know, maybe towards junior high, and started to develop into a decent basketball player. Things, you know, I always go my way on the basketball court. You know, I had some issues at school with my aim and my hands. I did a lot of fighting in the school, so I spent a lot of time getting suspended and stuff. But that kept me away from being on teams, you know, sometimes because of discipline issues. But by the time I did try to get it together, it was high school time, you know. Now I'm a freshman over at Eisenhower, and things didn't work out on my freshman team, and I end up getting cut by the coach, and I know why he cut me. Yeah. You know, I wasn't that type of kid you wanted on the team anyway at that time. So I ended up transitioning out of that phase, thank God. Yeah. You know, I had a little rough stretch from about the 4th grade to about the 9th grade. I had a rough stretch coming from, it was a school called Roach. Okay. It was over there by Eastside McDonald's. It got tore down. Okay. All right, so they shut down. They sent us over here to Washington. We went to Washington from 4th grade to like 6th grade. Okay, you was a warrior. Yeah, I was a warrior. Yeah. So now we get ready to transition into Johns Hill. At that time, Johns Hill is not the Johns Hill that you guys are looking at. It wasn't no magnets, because Johns Hill was like somewhere you didn't want to go. But seriously, it was on that level, and they shut it down. So we got bussed out to Thomas Jefferson. Oh, okay. So after Thomas Jefferson, of course, you know, like I played on a team out there. Ended up getting kicked off of some goofy stuff, but you know, end up going to Eisenhower. Things didn't work out, get cut, so I've left there and ended up going over to St. Teresa, finishing up. Had to sit out a year over at St. Teresa for transfer. Okay. And then all I had was 2 years to get things together. Yeah. You know, and that's what I did. I went over there and knuckled down, hit the books. Not saying something was wrong with Eisenhower books. It was just my mindset at that time. It's my mindset at that time, because I tell people education is education. You know, it's hella smart kids come out of the E. Oh, yeah. Or DPS. Definitely it's just what you want to get into. At that time, my mind was elsewhere. So when I transferred over to St. Teresa, I decided to get myself together and do a little better in the books. You know, by that time, you know, I did enough to gain a little bit of recognition of Big Ten schools. University of Illinois, Eastern Illinois was recruiting me, but the ACT kind of kicked my butt. Wow. Kicked my butt my senior year, to where, you know, I got the same score on it like 3 times, and it needed 1 point to go Division I straight out of high school. Wow. You know, so I messed up that opportunity. That was my fault for not hitting them damn books early. Right. You know, I did great the last 2 or 3 years, but the damage had been done. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? The damage had been done already. So I ended up having to go to junior college route up there in Michigan for 2 years. And I knew I wasn't supposed to be here. So in my mind, when I'm up here in Michigan, I feel like I'm in the joint. I'm looking at junior college like, this is prison for me, because I don't supposed to be here. Yeah. You know, I'm only here because of grades. In my mind, junior college was a place where you went and got your grades right, not your game tight. You know what I'm saying? My game was tight already. You know, I was just screwing around and get the grades like I was supposed to. So ended up going to New Mexico State, and it all worked out, though. Okay. But the things you do when you're younger, man, you know, they catch up to you. It definitely catch up with you, man. So it's good to see that you actually turn it around and had that. It was in you to do that, though. You had to make a decision on your own to turn your life around. And my mom's, if it went for my mother, just imagine my track record from 4th grade to 8th grade, you know, getting in fights, getting sent home, grades. And I come home one day as a freshman, after freshman year, talking about, hey, Mom, send me to St. Teresa. It's $2,000 a year at that time. She's like, what? He said, you know, your mom and dad, they love you. Don't get me wrong. But just to think, for her to say, okay, I'm sending you over there.
Yeah.
My track record wasn't good. Why did she?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I look back and I don't know if I would have sent my son if his track record was like mine. You know what I'm saying?
That makes
but
sense.
she saw something in me, and she knew how the drive that I had in me. And if it went for her sending me over there to change things around, I probably wouldn't have been in the predicament I'm in today.
Yeah, so let's talk about a little today. So now you are, not only do you have a gym, you got the restaurant. Talk a little bit about that, and what else do you got going on, man? You got your hands in some of everything.
Well, the gym's actually, the whole concept started when I played in Australia. And I played in Australia for like 4 years, from like 96, 97 to 2000, 2001.
Okay.
So what we would do over there, we would run team camps, had different things going on for our team, our club basketball over there. So I took that same concept when I got finished playing, brought it over into Decatur, because I did player development and all that while I was in Australia. So I said, I can do that when I get back home. Just got to find the right spot.
Right.
You know, just got to find the right spot. And fortunately, got lucky and came across the Armory, because we was thinking about building it from the ground.
Okay.
All right. Me and a buddy named Joe Flies, he went to Eisenhower, and he got with me and said, man, you know, let's he had a vision as well. You know, he knew I was the guy that pushed it on the court and get all the kids in there, but he had the business aspect of it down to a key. So I said, let's get together and see if we can't get this Armory together. You know, if you'd have walked in an Armory, but you got an eye like me, you see things, and you see the potential. Average person would have walked through there and be like,
nah,
don't do it, don't do it, don't put y'all money in there, don't put your money. But it worked out. It worked out, and like I said, that was in 2007.
Okay.
Was when we opened up Skywalker Sports Complex, and Joe eventually had duties up north, up in Wisconsin, Chicago area, where he couldn't be around anymore. So pretty much everything just fell into my hands.
Okay.
To where I had to operate it and run it, and everything's been going good since day one. But we've been fortunate to get support from the community, in Decatur, and the surrounding county towns. We never operated off grants or anything. We just now started getting financial assistance from the government about a year ago when we developed our outreach program, Skywalker Outreach. So we've been operating pretty much off nuts and bolts since 2007. And that speaks volume. The people say Decatur don't support, man. We've had support. We had support from Decatur and the surrounding communities in order to keep an old building like that going. You know the cost
man. It costs.
These buildings, man, just to turn the lights on, keep them heated and stuff. So
because it get hot in these old buildings, man.
It gets real hot.
You got roof problems. You might got some foundation work you got to deal with. All that stuff when it comes with owning an actual building, you got to take care of it.
Yeah, you do. It takes a lot of money, man. It takes a lot of money.
And help and support.
Yes.
So how important is it for your support system? Do you have a team to help you, manage all this stuff that you got going on?
Like you said, it's a lot of Skywalker different things going on. And it seemed like it's just one me, but believe me, man, there's a hellified team out there playing their part.
Okay.
There's nothing I can do out there. I lean on so many people. My wife, my family, my direct family, my mom and them, but the people that work for us, people that volunteer for us. It's impossible to grow without leaning and trusting on other people. And that's where people tend to get stagnant because they don't want to let things go.
Right.
You have to let things go if you want to grow.
Yeah, 'cause I know you ain't in the back making that good catfish. I know that ain't you.
I can. That's the thing I have. So some of the fish you've eaten I've cooked it. So every entity or little business I get into, I make sure I know the ins and outs of it, that I can do it. So just in case you don't feel like showing up for work today, guess who got to go back there and get it done? You got to open those doors. That's right. So I don't get into anything that I don't know much about, So I've just been fortunate to have good people around me. You weed through the bad. You get some bad ones here and there. That's life. But to be able to transition from a gymnasium standpoint and piggyback off the momentum of that brand, go straight into a sports bar, restaurant, atmosphere. It's a no-brainer because to me they kind of work hand in hand because you're dealing with sports still. A lot of things I do it still stems from basketball. Exactly. It still stems from basketball. So I tell people you don't have to go in the NBA. There's so many different things you can do with the sport. Just be involved with it. You meet people like yourself and you have these different resources. And I know kids that go to college for 4 years and they get out. Kids that have bigger names than me in college and they get out and they have nothing. I even know guys that have been in the NBA for 4 years, 4 or 5 years, and get out the league and don't have nothing.
Wow. So what is it about that separates some of those guys from somebody like yourself who would go out and... You have to be raised around the right people. Somebody had to show you the way. If nobody ever showed you the way, you wouldn't know.
you have to get out there and you got to open your mouth. You got to put yourself in positions to meet people. You got to put yourself in positions to fail and get knocked down. You know, you got to open your mouth. Some people just go along. I told when I went to Madison Square Garden for the first time at the age of 17 years old. My mom would never let me go into Summersville because most of my family, my mother, brothers and sisters,
from Jersey,
they in New York.
Okay,
they was in New York at that time. She never let me go in the summer.
Okay,
she sent me to Tennessee. Sent me to Brownville. They out in New York. You know, she said, "Son, when you do go, you're gonna be on the big stage when you go." She wasn't lying. When I first went, I was in Madison Square Garden playing at the biggest stage. But it's one of those things. They say, "How did you feel when you was in MSG?" I said, "You know what? It was nothing. It didn't feel like nothing. You know, I didn't feel it. It's one of those things like you happy to be there, but don't get caught up in the moment. You got work to do when you get there.
You got work to do.
Just to be happy to get there.
Yeah.
You know, and that's one of the things I try to tell people. When you get to a place, act like you belong. You know, act like you belong because you do belong there. You did the work to get there. You know, you did the work to get there. So you're supposed to be there. You know, you're supposed to be there.
So you mentioned the restaurant, the gym. You briefly mentioned the Skywalker outreach.
Yeah.
Now tell us a little bit about what is the outreach program about?
Okay, the outreach is, of course, everybody understand what the gym is about, Skywalker Sports Complex, but though the gym is for people that can actually support it and pay to come in for different events. What about those kids that we've missed out on throughout the years that couldn't be a part of? Couldn't afford the boxing, couldn't afford the basketball camps, couldn't afford just to come in there and take advantage of the events. Now we're offering life skills programming. We're looking at touching into trades and things like that. Now we have a staff there that can actually sit there and monitor and work with these kids. You got games facilitators. You have DPS certified teachers in there. Okay, so it's more than athletics now. Of course, athletics is how we pull them in.
Yeah, you got to reel them in some kind of way.
Pull them in, but now you're going to have to give us some time in those classrooms so we can sharpen up on those skills that's going to get you ready for the real world.
Yeah.
You know, because that basketball, that football, all that stuff's going to stop bouncing one day, and we got to make sure that we're creating good citizens that can survive when it's all over. So yeah, the outreach, man, just allowed us to touch the kids that couldn't, take advantage of that.
Yeah, that's good. So if anybody wanted to get a part of the outreach program, how do they reach out to you?
You can always catch us on Facebook, Skywalker Outreach Services Incorporated. Just message us on Facebook, or my phone number is 217-520-4447. Nothing changes. Just like my mama number. Ain't nothing changed.
Ain't nothing ever changed. And also your restaurant is located, the name of it is Sky City Grill.
We're on 1099 West Main Street. We're on the west side. Some say it's the best side. I say it's second to the best side. Right by Milliken. You know?
Yeah. Get some of the, what do you call it, catfish nuggets on there? They're called nuggets. They're called,
The lamb chops fire, the donut burger fire.
Donut burger.
Fire.
What is a donut burger?
It's a glazed donut, right? Cut it down the middle. That's your bread. Got a fried egg on there, bacon, beef patty, cheese. Man. Yeah.
It sounds good,
it's
but
not even messy. You would think it's messy with the donut. It's not even.
It's not. It's a good burger.
Yeah, it's good.
I don't really like. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna have to go try all that.
You gotta try it.
You got a feeling.
Stir fries, grilled dishes for you, all your health addicts.
Yeah.
You know, so we got a little stuff for everybody.
Some for everybody.
But that fish sandwich is off the chain. Salmon croquettes are good. The gizzards are good. You know, so yeah, a little bit of everything. Man.
Making me hungry, man. I ain't ate yet.
Got some good drinks in there. The slot machines is hot. Got darts. It's just a little. It's a fun place where it's like a Cheers.
Yeah.
Everybody knows your name, man. Everybody's family when you come in, and if you don't feel like that, I mean we've done something wrong.
Yeah, well, that's good that you created that type of atmosphere for Decatur, for that side of town. You know, it's just great to see more people, more black and brown people actually open up businesses that are sustainable and that are not just so catered to one particular.
Right.
You have something for everybody.
Right.
Everybody can offer. I mean, everybody can enjoy everything that you provide for the city, man. And I congratulate everything that you're doing, man.
Thank you.
I really appreciate you coming back home, because you can be anywhere. I mean, you've been all around the world, but you literally came back home. And we haven't even talked about the changes in the effort you put behind city council. That's another conversation. So we got to bring you back for that, man. So I really appreciate you being back here. Is there anything else you
man.
want to say before you get up out of here?
Just appreciate the support from the city, man.
Yeah.
We need more of it. Like I said, we need it from all walks of life. Unfortunately, we don't have a population like Atlanta,
Yeah.
you know, Detroit, Chicago, New York. You know, we have to all come together and support each other, man.
Yeah.
You know.
All right, y'all heard it from none other than himself, Mr. Rodney Skywalker.
My man.
Y'all stay tuned for the next one.
That's,